Hi, everyone. It's Wayne. Wayne Disher is your semester faculty member, instructor, whatever you want to call me. How about coach um, for the Information 204 class, fall 2023. Welcome, everyone. I really um, sympathize with you because you are just starting the program or this is one of your first classes. So you're probably inundated with a lot of information and wondering how the heck you're ever going to get through this program. But let me assure you, you will. I like to start every semester with a little welcome like this. I call it a meet and greet. Um, so let's get started and we'll probably have a lot of questions as we go along. Shouldn't take too long. So sit back, relax, and let's start my screen share here. All right. So I want to start by saying I really do sympathize with you that this is the start of a semester after a long, long summer vacation, which was what, 2 weeks. Still, I'm sure you had a blast and are wishing it was not over, but we're ready to jump in again. I'm going to turn off my video while we start going through this just to save a little bandwidth. I'll come back and see you soon, I'm sure. All right. Um, First of all, I want you all to relax. I know it'll be hard. I will say off the top of my head, 98% of you are going to pass this class with flying colors. If you do the work, meet your deadlines, hand in your assignments on time, and do professional work. There's nothing to worry about. You're going to be fine. Um, I'll go over a little bit about myself now, just so that you get an idea of who I am, where I come from, what my background is. I did provide my resume for you on Course Canvas if you really want to bore yourself and read through that, but it's a legitimate resume for me. Um, I have been in the library business forever. I got my start at UCLA's music library when I was an undergraduate at UCLA back in the mid 70s, I guess. So it's been a long time. Uh, Starting at working at a music library really fostered my appreciation for the world of information and how it could help people solve problems, enrich their enjoyment of their surroundings and culture. And I think that it probably bred in me the desire to become a librarian. Over the years, I went to a part-time library clerk as soon as I graduated from UCLA. I was a part-time library clerk at the City of San Jose's public library system. Uh, I was a part-time library clerk, then went from full-time library clerk, then library associate, library paraprofessional. Once I got my master's degree at San Jose State University, much like you're doing now, 100 years ago, I became a librarian in San Jose, and then I worked my way up in the San Jose system to a branch manager. Then decided I did want to go on and become a library director. So I applied and applied 4 or 5 different positions when I finally nabbed one at the city of Hemet in Southern California in Riverside County. The city of Hemet Public Library hired me. Uh, I worked there for about 12 years as a library director and retired about 8 years ago. And now I work for San Jose State University, which I've been doing for some 10 or 15 years, both online and in person. During the time that I was a library director and educator, I was also the president of the California Library Association. This was in 2011 and 2012. So it was, oh my goodness, 11 years ago. As library director and president of the California Library Association, I was sent around the United States doing library training for the library directors around the U.S. In California and Texas. I did a couple of conferences for the Rural and Urban Libraries Association, et cetera, et cetera. So I also have some publications. You see them listed there. Yes, we are using a couple of them in this course. And in the event that you have any questions about any of the assignments, reading assignments or books, let me know. I want to first point out that for the Information Services Today book, we are using the 3rd edition. There are several editions out of this one. Other than that, I think that's all I need to tell you about our books. I'm also, in terms of my professional, I guess, no, my personal life, I love animals. I'm a big advocate for shelter animals, and I recently adopted a retired racing greyhound. You see her down here. Name is Persephone, Percy for short. I'm the president and chairperson of the Ramona Humane Society here in Riverside County, where I had adopted these 2 black Labradors that you see in the right corner there, Shiloh and Chance. They have since crossed the Rainbow Bridge. During the pandemic, I lost them and got Percy just about 5 months ago. As I said, she was a retired racing greyhound from Tijuana and now living the good life, as you see here in the bottom right picture. I also want you to know I'm not an ogre. I am a pretty nice guy. I love students. I learn from you as much as you're going to be learning from me. And I think for this whole semester, you're going to find that I am very adaptable, and I like to help you out as much as I can. I like to think of myself as a coach, somewhat of a mentor, if you will. Good way to look at it is I'm here to make you successful, not only in this class, but also in our profession. Since I have a lot at stake in both of those, I want to make sure that my students are successful and that you get your money's worth. You pay a lot of money to attend this particular program at this university, and I think you ought to be not only successful in the chosen profession, but also feel that you're not wasting your money as you go forward. I am going to now take us into our class Canvas page so we can look at it together. All right. Hopefully you are now seeing on the whiteboard the student view of our professional class course. This is where everything happens. The thing I want to point out to you is when you land on the home page, I have your quick links up here to some of the more important areas in our course. But over here on the left is where you'll find links to all the important stuff, such as modules. That's what I want you to work from. The modules are places where I break up into certain sections, if you will, important information that I want you to know about. The very first thing you see is important information about this course. I want to point out to you here the fall calendar. I'm going to click on that. You'll see the course calendar links there to a PDF file of which you have a color-coded area that shows when that week starts, when everything is due, when that second week starts, when everything is due, et cetera, et cetera. All right, I'm going to close that down. We'll come back to our important information about this course module. And I pointed out the calendar I want you to read all of these things. I don't want to spend time right here on this in this particular meet and greet, but please do go back and look at all of these important information. Pay close attention to the group area. We use several different groups in this course, and you'll see them linked here. I provide links to the same information in different places because I know students use our online resources differently. Some students think that this is kind of confusing, but I like to provide you links to the same areas in different places just to make it easier. So if you're in one spot, you can find something. If you're in another spot, you can still find the same information without retracing your steps. I used to live in a two-story home, and it seemed like whenever I was upstairs, what I needed was downstairs, and when I was downstairs, what I needed was upstairs. So I'm trying to solve that crisis here. So take a look at the types of groups that we use in this class. There are 3 different types. In the book that one of our textbooks, we're using the Library Management Problems Today case studies. You have been assigned a group. I'm going to click on that. There are 6 different groups, and you all have been assigned one of those groups. It's important for you to contact your group members so that you can start discussing the Library Management Problems Today case scenario discussions that are in that textbook. Here are my expectations. If you want to look at those as well so that you can get an idea of what you need to do regarding those case scenarios. That's one group that you will be using throughout the semester, okay? The second group that you'll be using is the graded assignment number 5 is a group assignment. I'll go over that in just a minute, but I leave signing up for group assignments to you, the students. Now, how do you do that? In our very first discussion, VoiceThread discussion, which you see below, is a 90-second introduction. And within that introduction, you will be looking at all the fellow students in your class and getting an idea of people you might want to work with on that assignment. As you are listening to everybody's assignment, you can go through that and say, oh, I like this person. They live near me. They live in the same state. This person wants to be a public librarian. This person likes children's library service. Whatever it is, you find 5 or 6 people that you want to work with and start discussing on our voice thread about who you want to work with. And then once everyone has decided, hey, yeah, let's all 5 of us work together, then you'll go to a Google document that I provided you a link with and sign yourself up. There's also some other discussions here that you can look at throughout the semester. Let's go back to modules where I can explain that a little bit more. So the information about the course is right there, important information. Then you got your groups, but here is the semester work. Each week is outlined here. You're going to work through these once a week. The very first week, you'll see links to all the things that you are expected to accomplish that particular week so that you can move on to the next week. Again, follow along on the calendar that I provide you. And let's see. Here, for instance, in week 1, you will have an introduction to make down here. As you watch the 90-second video introductions, you will be introducing yourselves to one another. I don't know if any of you have not used VoiceThread yet, but it's pretty simple. It's a lot like a traditional discussion board, except for it's not text-based, it's video and audio-based. And it's very easy to use. You basically record short little videos with one another, and that way you can watch people and pretend like you actually are face-to-face. Within each module for each week, you will see links to things for you to accomplish, such as assignments. There are 6 assignments throughout the semester. The top the first 4 are graded assignments, 10 points each, and that will account for 15% of your grade. The last 2 assignments are accounting for 40% of your grade, and I guess I need to move that little guy down here. The last thing is the group discussions. As I said, we have VoiceThread discussions. I also provide you with the traditional text-based discussion boards as well. So all of this is factored into your assignments. I'm going to stop sharing now and go back to our PowerPoint just to finish that up. And I did want to sort of encourage you to keep interactive and keep engaged in this particular class. I know it is very tempting, since it is an online class and not live, that you sort of put it off, and never come back. Staying engaged is the most important thing you can do to be successful in this class, and you do that by constantly checking your email. I do my own email checking 2 or 3 times a day, sometimes more. You also have your groups that you will be interacting with. You'll want to be able to keep in contact with them. And then I also want to encourage you that if you do want to work ahead, and remember that that I did provide you with in the modules each unit for each week. So you could conceivably look at unit 8 or week number 8 and see what is expected of you week number 8, and that's fine. I know that you are all in other classes and you want to be able to kind of temper your workload by seeing what your most busiest weeks are and how you can maybe do some work ahead of time. And I do encourage you to do that. What I do not want you to do, however, is post any work for a certain week unless the whole class is scheduled to be there. So I don't want you in this very first week to go and do all of those 11 weeks and I never see you again. Work through those weeks on a week-by-week basis. If you want to work ahead, see what you need to read ahead of time, that's fine. But don't post on the discussion board and don't submit your assignments until everybody else is scheduled to do the same. Now, I did mention our textbooks earlier. I did want to point out yet again, we are using the 3rd edition of the major textbook for this course, the Information Services Today. So all of the reading assignments are coded to this edition. If you have a different edition, it's going to be very, very hard for you to follow along, as well as some of the content in the early editions is no longer relevant in this course. Group work, I know you hate it, everybody hates it, but it is a requirement in this 204 class. Now, if you're saying, oh, Mr. Disher has a group assignment, I'm out of here, I'm going to go into somebody else's 204, you're going to be disappointed, because every 204 class must offer at least one group assignment. Now, I will tell you that students who have taken my class in the past have told me that the group assignment in this course has been one of their favorites. So you have that to look forward to. It's also a great way for you to use your teamwork skills and learn how to work effectively with a team before you get into the profession where committees and teams and task forces are an everyday occurrence. I often get asked the questions, how many pages is assignment number 2? How many pages is assignment number 4? That's always a good thing to ask, because I know instructors do sort of limit students sometimes. If they say a 5-page paper, they stop reading at that 5th page and they go no further. I, on the other hand, am not like that. I leave page length up to you. I do provide you with guidelines, 2 to 5 pages, 3 to 4 pages. These are guidelines that I personally feel I could answer a certain prompt in, but I don't hold you to that. If you think that you can do an assignment in 1 or 2 pages, then you should do that. If you've gone on and on for one assignment, for 11 pages, that's fine too. I don't want to force you into my creative box. I want you to use the amount of space you feel is appropriate for you. Now, that being said, sometimes if I see an assignment that is only 1 page long, I might think to myself, did this student just start this assignment an hour ago? Or did they not give themselves enough time to finish it? If, on the other hand, you've gone 9 pages, and I think that you should have been able to do it in 3 to 4 pages, I might start asking myself, is the student disorganized? Are they being repetitive? Or have they lost focus? So use your judgment and the amount of space that you need and use that space effectively. Finally, I don't want you to get caught up in grades. Everybody, as I said earlier, is going to pass this course fine if you do the work, do it professionally, and meet your deadlines and stay engaged. I have been teaching this course for some 15 years, I think, and I've only flunked 4 or 5 people in that whole entire time, and that was because I saw them the first day and they never handed in any work after that. So you'll be fine. I do provide you with feedback on your assignments. Some of it is quite useful, I hope. But in all of my years in library science and library service, when I've sat on an interview panel or when I've been in an interview myself, I've never been asked, what grade did you get in 204? So yes, strive to get that A. And I think most of you will get that A. But if you get an A minus, you've done above standard work. There's nothing to beat yourself up about. All right. So that's my meet and greet. And I hope that you've found this at least a little bit worthwhile. If not, and you still have questions, please let me know and I will address them online. One of our discussion areas is called Help, I have a question. If you post in that, your fellow students will see that and maybe answer it before I get a chance to do it. But as I said, I will check my email frequently throughout the day and answer them as soon as I can. All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone.